Proper infection control can prevent the spread of disease caused by exposure to potentially infection materials on an item's surface. Infection control will also prevent exposure to blood and physical debris or residues such as dust, hair, and skin. Proper infection control requires 2 steps: cleaning and disinfecting with an appropriate EPA-registered disinfectant. When these 2 steps are followed correctly, virtually all pathogens of concern can be effectively eliminated. Sterilization, which is the process that destroys all microbial life, including spores, is a 3rd step that can be inappropriate but is very rarely mandated. Effective sterilization typically requires the use of an autoclave, a piece of equipment that incorporates heat and pressure. For sterilization to be effective, item must be cleaned prior to use, and the autoclave must be tested and maintained as instructed in the manufacturer's specifications. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, requires that autoclaves be tested weekly to ensure they are properly sterilizing implements. The accepted method is called a spore test. Sealed package containing test organisms are subjected to a typical sterilization cycle and then sent to a contract laboratory that specializes in autoclave performance testing. As stated, infection control has 2 steps: cleaning and disinfecting. Remember that when you clean, you must remove all visible dirt and debris from the tools, implements, and equipment by washing them with liquid soap and warm water, and by using a clean and disinfecting brush to scrub any groove or hinged portion of the item. When a surface is properly cleaned, the number of contaminants on the surface is greatly reduced. In turn, this reduces the risk of infection. The vast majority of contaminants and pathogens can be removed from the surface of tools and implements through proper cleaning. This is why cleaning is an important part of disinfecting tools and equipment. A surface must be properly cleaned before it can properly disinfect. Using a disinfectant without a cleaning first is like using mouthwash without brushing your teeth. It just does not work properly. Clean surfaces can still harbor small amounts of pathogens, but the presence of a fewer pathogens means infections are less likely to spread. Applying antiseptics to your skin or washing your hands with soap and water will drastically lower the number of pathogens on your hands. Proper hand cleaning requires rubbing the hands together and using liquid soap, warm water, a nail brush, and a clean towel. Do not underestimate proper cleaning and hand washing. They are the most powerful, important ways to prevent the spread of infection. There are 3 ways to clean your tools and implements: washing with tools in warm water and then scrubbing with them, clean and properly disinfected nail brush, using an ultrasonic unit, using a cleaning solvent. The second step of infection control is disinfection. Remember that the disinfection is the process that eliminates most, but not necessarily all microorganisms on non-porous surfaces. This process, however, is not effective against bacterial spores. In the barbershop, disinfectant is extremely effective in controlling microorganisms on surfaces such as shears, clippers, and other multi-use tools and equipment. A disinfectant used in a shop should carry an EPA registered number, and a label should clearly state the specific organisms the solution is effective against when according to the manufacturer's product instruction. Remember that the disinfectants are products that destroy most bacteria, fungi, and viruses on surfaces. Disinfectants are not for use on human skin, hair, or nails. Never use disinfectant as hand cleaners since this can cause skin irritation and allergies, a reaction due to extreme sensitive to certain foods, chemicals, or other normal harmless substances. All disinfectant manufacturers clearly state on the label of their products that skin contact should be avoided. This means your skin as well as the client's skin. Do not put your fingers directly into the disinfectant solution. Disinfectants are pesticides and can be harmful if absorbed to skin. If you mix a disinfectant in a container that is not labeled by the manufacturer, the container must be properly labeled with the content with the date it was mixed. All concentrated disinfectant must be diluted exactly as instructed by the manufacturers on the product label. While some customers who know that they have impaired immune systems will share that information with you, many will not because they are embarrassed. They do not know it is important, or they do not know they have a compromised immune system. These people are very high risk of infection if they come into contact with pathogens. Because you will not always know who these people are, it is important to practice proper infection control before every customer. One example is a diabetic customer whose immune system does not work effectively and who does have impaired healing. Most 2-type diabetes been diabetic for 7 years prior to being diagnosed, which means that even if you ask, they may likely say no because they have not been diagnosed. Another example concerns clients on medication for conditions such as asthma, arthritis. These medications are designed to dull immune system, making these customers partially susceptible to infection. Remember, you do not know everybody who sits in your chair, so provide the best disinfection for everyone. You must read and follow the manufacturer's instructions whenever you are using a disinfectant. Mixing ratios and contact time are very important and vary widely based on manufacturer's delivery method. For example, most concentrate times have a 10-minute contact time, whereas most wipe have 2-minute contact time. Not all disinfectant have the same concentration, so be sure to mix the correct proportions according to the instructions on the label. If the label does not have the word concentrate on it, the product is already mixed and must be used directly out of the original container and must not be diluted. All EPA-registered disinfectants, even those sprays on large surfaces, will specify a contact time in their direction for use. Disinfectant must have an efficiency claim on the label. Efficiency is the ability to produce the intended effect. As applied to disinfectant claims, efficiency means the effectiveness with which a disinfectant solution kills organisms when used according to the label instruction. Implements must be thorough, clean of all visible matter or residue before being placed in a disinfectant solution. This is because residue will interfere with the disinfectant and prevent proper disinfection. Proper clean implements and tools free from all visible debris must be completely immersed in disinfectant solution. Complete immerse means that there is enough liquid in a container to cover all surfaces the item being disinfected, including the handles, for 10 minutes for the time recommended for the manufacturer. When using an aerosol disinfectant, you must still look for and adhere to contact time to ensure that all pathogens on the label are being effectively destroyed. Disinfectant tips. Use disinfectant only on clean, hard, non-porous surfaces. Always wear gloves and safety glasses when handling disinfectant solutions. Always dilute products according to the instructions on the product label. An item must remain submerged in the disinfectant for 10 minutes unless the product labels differently. To disinfect large surfaces such as countertops, carefully apply the disinfectant onto the clean surface or use a disinfectant spray and allow it to remain moist for 10 minutes unless the product label says otherwise. If the product label states complete immerse, the entire implement must be complete immersed in a solution. Change the disinfectant according to the instructions on the label. If the liquid is not changed as instructed, it will no longer be effective and may begin to promote the growth of microbes. Disinfectants are not all the same. Some are appropriate for use in the shop and some are not. You should be aware of the different types of disinfectants and the ones that are recommended for the barbershop use. Quaternarium ammonium compounds, also known as quats, are disinfectants that are very effective when used properly. The most advanced type of formulation is called multi-quats. Multiple quats contain significant blends of quats that work together to significantly increase the effectiveness of these disinfectants. Quat solution usually disinfect implements in 10 minutes. These formulas may contain antitrust ingredients, so leaving the tools in the solution for prolonged periods can cause dulling or damage. They should be removed from the solution after the specific period. Rinsed, dried, and stored in a clean covered container. Phenolic disinfectants are powerful disinfectants. They are a form of formaldehyde, had a very high pH, and can damage the skin and eyes. Phenolic disinfectants can be harmful to the environment if put down the drain. They have to be used reliably over the years to disinfect tools. However, they do not have drawbacks. Phenol can damage plastic and rubber and can cause certain metals to rust. Extra care should be taken to avoid skin contact with phenolic disinfectants. Phenolics are known carcinogens and such should only be used in states that require or permit their use. Household bleach, 5.25% sodium hypochlorite, is an effective disinfectant and has used extensively as a disinfectant in the barbershop. Using too much bleach can damage some metals and plastic, so be sure to read the label for safe use. Bleach can be corrosive to metals and plastics and can cause skin irritation and eye damage. To mix bleach solution, always follow the manufacturer's direction. Store the bleach solution away from heat and light. A fresh bleach solution should be mixed every 24 hours or when the solution has contaminated. After mixing the bleach solution, date container to ensure that the solution is not saved from one day to the next, but disposed of the daily similar to other disinfectants. Bleach can be irritating to the lungs, so be careful about inhaling the fumes. Petroleum distillates have been used by barbers for decades and are generally very similar in chemical structure to kerosene. They are excellent at removing grime and oils from metals, but not all products in this classification are approved for disinfectants. Disinfectants are pesticides and can cause skin irritation and eye damage. Some disinfectants appear clear, while others, especially phenolic disinfectants, are a little cloudy. Always use caution when handling disinfectant and follow safety tips listed below. Always keep SDS on hand for disinfectant use. Wear gloves and safety glasses when mixing disinfectant. Avoid skin and eye contact. Add disinfectant to water when diluted. Use tongs, gloves, or draining basket to remove implements from disinfectants. Keep disinfectants out of reach of children. Carefully measure and use disinfectant products according to label instructions. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for mixing, using, and depositing of disinfectants. Carefully follow the manufacturer's directions for when to replace the disinfectant solution in order to ensure the healthiest condition for you and your client. Never let quat, phenols, bleach, or any other disinfectant come in contact with your skin. Place any disinfectant or other product in an unmarked container. Mix chemicals together unless specified so in manufacturer's instructions. In the past, jars or containers used to disinfect implements were incorrect called wet sanitizers. Disinfecting containers contain disinfectant purposes, not for cleaning. The container choose must be large enough to contain all items to be disinfected and covered, but not airtight. Remember to clean the container every day and wear gloves when you do. Always follow the manufacturer's label for instruction products. State rules require that all multi-tools and implements be cleaned and disinfected before and after every service. Even when they are not on the same person, mix all disinfectants according to the manufacturer's directions. Always adding the disinfectant to water, not the water to the disinfectant. Hair clips and other types of electrical equipment have contact points that cannot be completely immersed in liquid. These items should be cleaned and disinfected using EPA-registered disinfectant designed for the use of these devices. Follow the procedure recommended for the disinfectant manufacturers for preparing the solution and follow the items manufacturer directions for cleaning and disinfecting the device. Before beginning a service, all work surfaces must be cleaned and disinfected. Be clean and disinfected tables, stations, shampoo sinks, chairs, armrests, and other surfaces that customers' skin may have touched. Clean doorknobs and handles daily to reduce transfer of germs of your hands. Clean towels, linens, and capes must be used for each client. After a towel, linen, or cape has been used on a client, it must not be used again until it has been properly laundered. To clean linen and capes laundered according to the directions of the item's label, be sure that towels, linens, and capes are thoroughly dried. Items that are not dry may grow mildew and bacteria in soil, linen, and towels and cover or closed containers. Always from clean linen and towels, even if your state registered agency does not require you to do so. Whenever possible, use disposal towels, especially restrooms. Do not allow the neckband of capes to touch the client's skin. All states require the use of a barrier such as disposal neck strip or towel to prevent the client's skin from touching the neckline of the cape. Leather is porous material and as cannot be disinfected. Straps and leather holsters. When utilizing a strap or holster, it is important to clean and disinfect tool or implements after it has come in contact with the leather before using it on a client. Even if you are unlikely to cause a major illness, a minor illness spread throughout improper disinfection can have a devastating impact on your business. A single case of wingworm or cerebral folliculitis spread of dirty comb or razor blade can quickly publicize in today's social media world where bad news travel fast and good. Do not let your shop be one to post it for the web for dirty places. When using creams, lotions, gels, and other products that is dispensed from a multi-container, it is important not to contaminate the product. Always use a pump, shaker, or dispense product when possible. When products are in a tub-type container, always clean a spectrum to remove products. Never use your fingers. Hand washing. Proper hand washing hands is one of the most important actions you can take to prevent spreading germs from one person to another. Proper hand washing removes germs from the folds and grooves of the skin and from under the free edge of the nail plating by lifting, rinsing germs and contaminating from the surface of your skin. You should wash your hands thoroughly before and after work each customer. Avoid using very hot water to wash your hands because this is another practice that can damage the skin. Remember, you must wash your hands thoroughly before and after each service. Antiseptics are chemical germicides formulated for on-skin and registered and regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. Antiseptics generally contain a high volume of alcohol and intended to reduce the numbers and slow growth of microbes. When there is visible dirt, debris on the hand, neither waterless hand sanitizer nor antiseptic will work until the dirt or debris is removed. This can only be accomplished with liquid soap, a soft bristle brush, and water. Due to the drying effect of alcohol, hand sanitizers should not be overused, but they are an excellent option when hand washing is not possible. Never use an antiseptic to disinfect instruments or other surfaces. They are ineffective at that purpose. Hydrogen peroxide has been in homes and barbershops forever. It is generally used at 3% strength and work well as an antiseptic. However, it should never be used on an open cut as it destroys the cell that begins the healing process in the wound. Isopropyl alcohol is effective in cleaning the skin. However, it can be very dry and cause irritation to the skin. Alcohol is not a disinfectant for surfaces or implements and should only be used as a cleaner and an antiseptic. Standard precautions are guidelines published by the CDC that requires the employer and employee to assume any human blood and body fluids are potentially infectious. Because it may not be possible to identify customers with infection diseases, strict infection control practices should be used with all clients. In most instances, clients who are infected with hepatitis B virus or other bloodborne viruses are asymptomatic, which means they show no symptoms or signs of infection. OSHA and CDC have set safety standards and precautions that protect employees in situations when they could be exposed to bloodborne pathogens. Precautions included proper hand washing, wearing of gloves, and proper handling, and disposing of sharp instruments and any other item that may have been contaminated by blood or other bloody fluids. It is important that specific procedures be followed if blood or bloody fluids is presented. You should never perform a service on any client who comes in the shop without an open wound, rash, or abrasion. Sometimes accidents happen while a service is being performed in the barbershop. However, an exposure incident is contact with non-contact skin, bloody fluid, body fluid, or other potential infection materials that is the result of performance of a worker's duties. Should the client suffer a cut or abrasion that bleeds during a service? No. Most potentially harmful situations in a barbershop can be avoided being observant and using common sense. Learn to recognize safety hazards to minimize the occurrence of accidents. Water. At shampoo bowls, be careful to handle the spray hose. Position the client's head for comfort and access. Being cautious, your own body position at well. Do not bend or twist the waist unnecessarily. Wipe up water spills or leaks immediately. If the water temperature reaches a scalding level while in the hot position, turn the thermostat on the hot water tank down to a more accessible temperature for application to the skin, scalp, and hair. Water heaters should not be set at a higher than 130 degrees Fahrenheit. As a precaution, always set the water temperature on the inside of your wrist before applying it to your client's hair or scalp. The same procedure may be used to steam, towels, or facials. Electricity and water do not mix. Make sure that all electrical appliances and tools are stored safely and preferably unplugged when in proximity in water. Never overload electrical outlets or use extension cords. Make sure the electrical outlets located. Never use water sources near the ground. Have shop wiring checked periodically to ensure a safe, fire-free environment. Schedule annual safety and optional checkups for wiring, hot water tanks, air conditioners, and ventilation systems. Tools and implements. Tools and equipment should be strategically placed so that the items are safely stored when in use, yet are accessible when needed. Smaller tools such as clippers, trimmers, blow dryers, or curling irons may be placed in countertop receptacle designs for that purpose. Do not forget to disinfect before and after each use. Larger equipment such as UV light units may be mounted under the cabinet attachment to the wall or set on the shelf. Disinfecting jars and electrical ladders are usually placed on the station countertop, but should be set back toward a wall or partition so that it's not interfered with other tools. This also limits the risk of accidental burns from a hot lather or the spillage of a disinfectant solution. If a tool or implement is dropped on the floor during a service, it must be replaced with a disinfecting tool, or you must stop the service and properly disinfect the tool that was dropped prior to continue the service. This is a good reason to keep an extra set of tools that are ready to use and handy. All tools and implements should be in good working condition. Replace damaged tools immediately, including worn electrical cords, chipped clipper blades, cracked housing, and broken shears. Do not try to repair tools yourself. Send them to the manufacturers for service. Never subject yourself or your client to the risk of falling or broken equipment. Barbering tools and implements are designed for specific purposes, so use the right tool for the job. Do not expect a trimmer to do the work of a clipper. Electrical cords deserve specific mention because they often become a safety hazard in the shop. Cords, the clippers, trimmers, curling irons, and blow dryers tend to become twisted, tangled during use. If the cord is too long, it can get caught on the foot or armrest of a hydraulic chair or even on the foot of a client. Some barbers use cordless trimmers to eliminate the problem altogether. A well-planned workstation with significant and convenient place outlets can help minimize the tangle of cords. Never place tools or implements in your mouth or pocket. Keep all hydraulic chairs, headrests, shampoo chairs, heat lamps, and lighting fixtures in good working order. Tighten screws, bolts, grease, or oil, hinges, and services, equipment, mechanism as needed. Dust and clean regularly to avoid dust buildup to maintain a clean condition. Maintain lighting features, change the bulbs when necessary to keep workstations well lit. Proper ventilation and air circulation are extremely important in today's barbershop. Particles from products such as talc, hairsprays, and disinfecting can be inhaled and may cause allergies or other health problems. Heating and air conditioning vents should be located to perform optimum functions without interfering with our client services. Vents should be vacuumed or cleaned periodically to prevent any buildup of hair that might impede ventilation. Fumes from chemical applications and nail care products require a significant filtration unit that cleans and detoxifies the air. Once installed, air filters should be changed or cleaned regularly. Clothing should be comfortable and professional in appearance. Excessive baggy clothes can get in the way of your performance just as easily as tight clothes can restrict it. Long hair in a loose style may easily get caught in a blow dryer, motor, vents, and other appliances. Keep hair pulled back or short enough to avoid entanglements. Necklace should be an appropriate length so as not get caught on equipment or dangle in client's face at the shampoo bowl during a shave. Rings should not be worn on the index finger and middle finger as they might interfere with hair cutting accuracy. In general, rings with stones and elaborate settings are very hard to keep clean. Watches should be waterproof and shock absorbent. Shoes should have non-skid rubber soles with good support. Electronic devices that may distract you, such as a cell phone or tablets, should be kept stored away and only checked or answered between clients. Children can cause serious risk of injury to themselves in the shop environment. Being aware of their inquisitive nature and the speed with which they can move can help prevent accidents from happening. Post notice in the reception area that advise patrons that children are not to be left unattended. Do not allow children to play, climb, or spin on the hydraulic chairs. Do not allow children to wander freely around the shop with access to workshops, stages, areas, and so forth. When cutting a child's hair, try to anticipate the child's sudden moves. Never trust a young child to hold his head still while you approach his head area with shears or other tools. Instead, hold the child's head gently but firmly with one hand while cutting with the other. This technique is especially helpful when cutting around the ears at the nape. When trimming bangs or front hairlines, hold the hair between your fingers at a low elevation, cutting the hair on the side of your palm, thereby putting a barrier of your fingers between the tool and child's face. As barbers, many of these things we do to ensure clients' comfort also fall under the category of safety precautions. Using good manners and performing common courtesy will help you gain a reputation of being a safety-conscious and courtesy barber. Assist clients, especially the elder, in and out of hydraulic and shampoo chairs. Turn hydraulic chairs so the client may get out of the chair without risk of his feet becoming tangled in any other cords. Always lower the hydraulic chair to its lowest level and lock it in position so that it does not spin before inviting the client to be seated or leave the chair. Hold doors open for clients. Assist clients in walking whenever necessary. Always support the back of the client. Cushion the client's neck with a folded towel in the neck rest at the shampoo bowl. This This is especially beneficial for clients with neck injuries such as whiplash. Fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers should be placed where they are ready and accessible. All employees should be instructed in fire extinguisher use. Chemicals. Request an SDS from your supplier for each product purchased for use or sale in the shop, and maintain a SDS notebook. Add to the notebook as new products are brought into the workplace. Every solution, liquid, cream, powder, paste, gel, and other substances should be properly labeled. This requirement goes beyond labeled products purchases from a supplier and includes spray bottles or water or setting, lotions, disinfectant jars, containers of blade washes, and other substances used in the shop that is not contained within the original packaging. Your most important responsibility is to protect your client's health and safety. Never take shortcuts for cleaning and disinfecting. You cannot afford to skip steps or save money when it comes to safety. It is your professional and legal responsibility to follow the state and federal laws. Keep your license current and notify the license agency if you move or change your name. Check your state's website monthly for any change or update to the rules and regulations. Be prepared for emergencies. Every shop should have employee and clinical emergency information available near the telephone.